to know me. Never said today you approach me. I've been thinking about you and you only. And we just like a fuck, that's nothing else, you know.
What's good, y'all? So in this video, I'm going to react to two fantastic hip-hop. How Spotify just made Drake's lawsuit even worse for him. I don't know exactly what they said, but I guess it was bad. So yeah, we're just going to get into it, see what they're talking about.
Be responding to the first lawsuit he filed, claiming that Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us record only became the phenomenon it did because of fake streams and industry manipulation. And now, as Drake was waiting for this moment that he thought was going to make him look like this hero of the music industry to his fans that are just as delusional as him.
Delusional as hell, because I don't understand how y'all think somebody that benefited from a certain system, the only reason he's exposing it is because he's not benefiting from it anymore. And that's just that.
While we don't know the full extent of where this lawsuit is going yet, things have already gotten way worse for him, as right now, we have just witnessed one of the next steps in this moment, as one of the alleged parties who was responsible for helping ruin Drake's image with this record has officially responded to him, and the claims he has filed against them with none other than Spotify. And now with the streaming giant and what they have had to say about their involvement in the most shocking moment to come from Kendrick Lamar and Drake's entire rap beef, has had them come out and not just deny the claims from Drake, but they are disgusted by the very action of what he has done. And while we don't know where this actual suit is going to go yet in full, it's clear that Drake just made enemies with the most powerful outlet to the people in all of the music industry. Now before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and said to Drake. In their response, they go on to explain that Drake has no actual evidence to back up what he is saying, which is why first off he filed this thing the way he did, and instead of entertaining these claims or being investigated for maybe doing these things or just revealing what the labels have put in place within their own algorithms. Since the case and the evidence Drake presented in the petition was so weak, they went on to say in their statement that the petition asserts no specific facts of any kind in support of these alleged RICO and deceptive practice violations, and instead relies exclusively on speculation or claims of anonymous individuals on the internet. And now with Spotify officially coming out and saying this, and with the demeanor and language they used in this suit as well, which clearly made them sound so frustrated that out of all people, Drake is the guy who's trying to point a finger at
No, it really be the irony. It really be the hypocrisy of it all. Understand that? Maybe he was like, I used them, so I know he used them, and I'm just mad that they released this song and it's as big as it is. And so he just like made an assumption, or maybe he knows it to be fact or whatever. I don't know.
them. When it comes to this entire situation, they are the first official power that has been pulled into this thing that is straight up dismantling Drake's claims, all due to how bad the information he is trying to leverage against them are. Because really, when you break down the suit and claims Drake made, from viral videos from influencers to random clips from BJ Academic streams, the evidence that someone who has more power and proximity to the music industry was able to compile for this type of case was just laughably bad. And really, just like his actual beef with Kendrick Lamar, Drake's inability to bring real facts and proof of anything to the table that could have changed people's perspectives and made them open their eyes. It's not just costing Drake and really every single artist as a whole the power they may be able to hold in the future. Because what I don't think Drake realizes here is that there are real artists and teams that don't just lose out on so much because there are tricks being played on these streaming services, but that under the right circumstances, I'm sure that somebody could have eventually proved just how corrupt the music industry is. But now with Drake coming after Not Like Us because he's mad it went viral naturally and then ruined his image in a way he can never change with one of the flimsiest and most pathetically drawn up suits we have ever seen in the history of not just the music, but entertainment business as a whole. All in all, Drake has...
Not only did the suit do that, not only did the song do that, all of his actions following the song have also done that. It has either reaffirmed some of the things that were said in the disses. It has made him look petty, but with like lack of emotional control or good decision-making skills. Because the lawsuit made him look worse to people that were actually on his side before. And just all these moving parts and pieces and things that he's done have just not been great moves for him.
Hasn't just made this struggle that real artists actually face seem like a joke. By the way, he is now only joining in on it for his own personal gain. But he is doing this at the expense of every other, the biggest label and biggest streaming company on the planet. He hasn't just ruined their relationship right now. But what's going to end up happening is the entire dynamic of how these major platforms are even going to treat and communicate with their stars going forward is going to change drastically. Which of course is only going to do more harm for the artist and their agency than good. And for Drake right now, we are really about to see just how rapid and eye-opening this downfall really gets. Because beyond losing a rap beef that went down over the course of a few months to Kendrick Lamar, and then Lamar moved on to new ventures. I mean, Spotify makes it clear here, these powers are gonna make everything a living nightmare for Drake going forward, because at the end of the day, and this is why Drake is so delusional and out of touch, these platforms and companies are the ones who have pushed Drake and helped him lock in his spot as the #1 streaming rapper for so many years in a row. And in this time where the rap game has already turned against Drake, and all he did have left was the legacy and power that he held within these algorithms. Now Drake turning on them is setting a precedent where both the people, the field he is in, and the business that controls it are now all against him. And while Drake fans continue to make it seem like there is this bigger plot that was made against him, and that's why they are trying to end his legendary run. When you actually see this situation for what it is, you can so clearly realize that Drake has just been the worst type of person, employee, or client you can be to all of these parties and powers, and this is why they are all turning their back on him. And for Spotify specifically right now, as they are the ones who just showed how little respect they have for one of the most statistically dominant artists on the history of their, even if Drake is to get banished from that label as a whole, which again is something that has happened to other superstars in the music industry, as this happened to Ye not too long ago. Spotify is still the biggest mediator between the artist and the people, and just like someone in Ye saw this year when he dropped Vultures 1, no matter how bad the system takes you down, and even without whatever promotion is going on behind the scenes, your star power and sheer spectacle of new music will drive people to listen to you more than any algorithm ever can. But now with Drake being so bitter and emotional that he is now making bad relations with Spotify and putting their entire brand on the line definitely was not a good idea on his end. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones who have power to control what people are hearing if they want to, and if the guy who, again, we have seen over the years just how far they have went to support and push him is now trying to ruin their reputation all over something that so clearly became a hit the way it did because people just genuinely loved it and not like us.
And what's crazy is that during the beef, every time I would listen to one of Kendrick's diss songs, a Drake song would be like immediately next after it. So it felt like it was still going on. I don't know if it was because of the, they just put them together because of what was going on at the time. But I don't know. It felt like his music was always pushed, And none of his disses were on Apple Music, I don't think. He kept leaking stuff. But yeah, I feel like he's always been pushed. And a part of me is trying to think, is there a bigger plan and it's a big scheme that's going on, because I don't understand why he would make like the moves that he's making. I don't understand why his lawyer would allow this to happen. His managers, his freaking friends and his family. I don't know what's going on. Like, so I'm trying to think, like, genuinely giving him the benefit of the doubt. Is something else happening? Even that, when he said he was his tour was gonna start on the day of the Super Bowl. Like, it's just real little petty things that are just like, they don't hit the way that he thinks they are hitting. This weird moves.
Honestly, I would really be worried for the future of Drake's career, because after this entire situation
he's
plays
gonna be
out,
rich forever.
For Spotify and
Probably.
UMG, it's seeming like it is going to end more in their favor every day, because Drake just has a horrible case against them. By the end of this all, he could really no longer have a platform to project himself on or a place to release new music. And for a mogul who breaks down barriers in the industry, this would not be the worst thing. For a wave rider like Drake, who has relied on this system and loopholes to try and succeed at the level he has over and over again every single year at this point, this is the worst thing that could have happened to him, because he is no longer going to have the game and system to make a 25-song album on to boost his streaming numbers, and if his career has a chance to even move past this, he's going to be forced to deliver not just real art, but also now find a real way for people to consume it. And at the end of this entire situation, with now Spotify coming out here and bashing Drake the way they are publicly, this is really the future we are headed to. And if I was Drake, I would be worried, because despite how much he tries to avoid the reality of his entire career and the consequences he has now put on himself in this time, he really is at a point where in the next couple of months, based on how everything goes, he could lose everything, because beyond losing the will of the people and his respect as an MC, he is now messing with companies and entities that control the game all of these artists play. And
where his R&B album with Party Next Door? Where that at?
It's just something so much bigger than Drake of all people could ever handle, because despite his status and everything he's done, He has not done one thing to present himself as a person both calculated and even built up enough in the industry to pull off what he is doing.
What was going on with
And really
hair?
with the way Drake has moved in his career since Scorpion as a whole, from collab albums, strange projects like Care
I'm not
Package,
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The one where they all pregnant. What was it called? Certified Lover Boy. It wasn't terrible. I liked like 5 songs off of that. Yeah, maybe 6. So after that, though, I'm not gonna lie. It was very sparingly. Like I liked like 2 or 3 maybe off of an album. Honestly, Nevermind needed to be dumped in the garbage. Though.
Dark Lane demo tapes, and Honestly Nevermind. And even on the mainline albums like CLB and For All the Dogs, which just lack real Drake hits. With how bad most of these albums have been, and yet how many #1 songs or hits they have ended up producing that stayed around way longer than they should have. With both Spotify and especially UMG with the way the situation is going. Seems like beyond them denying Drake's claims and in Spotify's case, just making fun of how terrible everything Drake is trying to say in this lawsuit against him is. I think all of this is going to end with Drake getting exposed for trying to go up against the people who have boosted him onto the pedestal he has been at with a LeBron-sized deal and with more support than any other rapper has received. And I think what's going to happen is that we are going to end up finding out that all of the recent Drake albums have been getting manipulated on these platforms in hope that then a real organic hit would emerge in the long run. But between that never actually happening, as these new Drake records just don't have the longevity like his older ones did, and because of the fact that with the deal Drake has had with UMG that he seemingly wants to become even bigger right now, and this has been one of the factors leading to this arrogance he has been showing throughout this entire situation and moment in time. Overall, he has given them no other choice but just to pull the curtain on him and reveal the truth, which will then expose to the world what is really running the Drake brand at this point, and once and for all show to everyone that he is not worth whatever he wants because he is just not the guy he was in the 2010s. And in this era, he's only been at the level he is at because the industry is forcing him to be there. And while we don't know if this is going to happen, with some of this already being true in terms of the support and resources Drake has gotten from all these brands, and yet is still coming after them, and in the case of Spotify, is now ruining his ties with the most powerful streamer and funnel to the people in this day and age that you can get. Drake is just playing a terrible game, and as more comes out about this suit and more info is revealed, I am sure that no matter which direction it goes in, it is going to conclude with us witnessing the downfall of a star like we have never seen before. And so now with all this said, let me know.
Like I said, I don't really understand why he's making the business decisions he's making. I think he'll always be successful. I just don't think it'll be to the same extent, especially you went on after. I think it's one thing to go after Kendrick and the public's perception change, but you going after UMG and Spotify is actually crazy, because I feel like they were the people that could have kept him like afloat post beef, you know? So after that, they might be like, absolutely not. You know what? Actually shadow ban him, or the equivalent of shadow banning for music type of thing. Don't bring him up or whatever. And maybe that might make other companies skeptical of, you know, really dealing with him on serious notes, or it might make artists skeptical of dealing with him, because I don't think the Drake stimulus package is going to work as well as it did before. So yeah, I don't know. That's why I said there has to be a reason he's moving like this, right? Because I don't get it. I don't get it. But I guess we'll see. I don't, you know, whatever. But to everybody who thinks this is like some courageous move to expose that, no, bro, this is stupid, to be completely honest. If you really believe that, then I don't know, we have to reevaluate stuff in life. So anyways, y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I'll see y'all in the next one.